What it do, good Friday. Happy Friday, good people. Y'all, you'll get this on either Saturday or Sunday or Monday. But it is Friday, January 17th. Welcome back, welcome back. As you can see, I have on my favorite t shirt, or one of my favorites. Fear is not for others, or fear is for others. I always read it wrong because I'm trying to read it as I'm looking at it on the screen. Oh, man. It's been one of those weeks, it's been one of those weeks. Yesterday I had a really good run. I just drank a whole cup of coffee, so y'all bear with me. I'm still waking up. But anyways, we're going to get right into it. Gathering, let me turn this down a little bit. That's good. Gathering the gear while the tired sun descended from the sky, the two anglers used what little light they had to guide them on the path. Okay. All right. Let me take a little sip. All right. Gathering the gear while the tired sun descended from the sky, the two anglers used what little light they had to guide them on the path. Had left. Use what little light they had left. Gathering the gear while the tired sun descended from the sky, the two anglers used what little light. I spoke about this earlier. I spoke about this yesterday about, okay, so they got out there really early, and so I think I looked at the sunset and all that, and I decided I was going to leave it for now. Oh, man, I didn't like my incense. Y'all hold tight, man. Y'all hold tight. I got to like my incense. Come on. Okay, I'm back. So let me tell you guys a secret to getting to finishing a book. A book is just an example of like finishing a project that you don't see an end before you even start. It's the secret is rituals, and I don't mean rituals like voodoo, hoodoo, maybe that too, but I'm talking about, like, I'll give an example. Like Michael Jordan would eat a steak before he played every game. He also wore his North Carolina shorts underneath his Bulls jersey, his North Carolina Tar Heels college basketball shorts. He wore those under his Chicago Bulls shorts. In other words, like when I was in the Army, our ritual before PT, before doing anything in PT, first you gotta form up, get in formation, and then you gotta, what they would do a certain type of movements. Whoever was leading the platoon or whatever would tell you to space yourself. I can't remember the doggone movements now. And you would space yourself. Even numbers to the right, march. That type of stuff. The even numbers, people with the even. Anyways, it was a ritual. You stretch, do all your stretching, then form back up, go on a 8-mile run. That was a ritual we did before every run. We didn't just start running. I say all that to say, when I come up here in the morning, one of my rituals is lighting my incense. Today, I just lit a Palo Santo rose incense. I have boxes of incense that I got from Amazon. I love incense. I have a dragon blood. I have all different incense. And if I run out of incense, I got a little myrrh, I got sage, I got something that I like to get the smell going, the good smells going. And that's one of my rituals before writing. Also, drink a cup of coffee. The caffeine is also beneficial. But anyways, if you're wondering why you can't finish whatever you start doing, do you have a ritual? Gathering the gear while the tired sun descended from the sky, the two anglers used what little light they had left. Let me put left, because I just keep here. I see left, I hear left, but I don't have it there. Had left to guide them on the path. Jacob was using every ounce of willpower to show his father just how serious he could be. And unbeknownst to the boy, an ally, is that ally? Yeah. One he himself had conjured up remnants of his own thoughts. The little Jacob, who magically appeared on the fishing court, had decided it best to tag along. As the two collected the gear, father and son, the little spirit thing began leaping from lily pad to lily pad. The one who appeared out of thin air began an invisible display of leaps, as though a toad hopping from one floating pad to the next. With an imagined melody matching every jump, with an imagined I'm giggling to myself because I can hear myself reading, and I'm reading better. I can read, but reading out loud wasn't my thing. Past tense. It's becoming my thing. It's becoming my thing. My breathing is getting better. I'm more aware of pauses and certain ways I pronounce words. I'm becoming more and more aware of this, and it's a good thing. So I don't care if I'm getting 1 view per video right now, because I know with quality comes people recognize quality over anything else. You can give people 10 diamond rings, but if those diamond rings are cubic zirconias, that one real diamond ring is gonna outweigh the 10. You feel what I'm saying? And as far as I see myself, I am a diamond in the rough. I am a diamond in the rough, or I was a diamond in the rough on my way to becoming a shiny diamond. I can feel that coming. With that being said, y'all sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Let's keep it going. As the two collected the gear, father and son, the little spirit thing began leaping from lily pad to lily pad. The one who appeared out of thin air began an invisible display of leaps, as though a toad hopping from one floating pad to the next, with an imagined melody matching every jump. After each clumsy leap, the little thing paused to balance itself. At one point, while standing on one leg, it put out its arms, then swayed back and forth like a little tree. Okay, so I want to, swayed. Let's see another word for swayed. Again, y'all know why I'm smiling. Let's see another word for swayed, like a wavering tree. Okay, then wavered back and forth like a swaying tree. There you go. There you go. Then wavered back and forth like a swaying tree. That's why I decided to work on this again today. At one point, while standing on one leg, it put out its arms, then wavered back and forth like a swaying tree, like a swaying little tree before rebalancing itself on the path. Though unable to be physically harmed, it seemed to fear falling into the predator-infested water. The thing that the boy created with concentration was now there in the present moment. It was a miniature version of Jacob, observing, being silent while witnessing. Again it leaped. It was there on the pond, making its way toward the boy. It could see without seeing. It heard without hearing. It felt. It smelled. It's who the boy summoned unconsciously. Mysteriously, in his mind, Jacob began hearing what sounded like a piano playing. There were only sharp notes. Mysteriously, in his, okay, so now I think we got to go back to Jacob and the drink he's drinking. He's in his fogging mind, obscuring mind, oh boy, mysteriously, let's see, I gotta look at this thing from all different angles. Strangely, let's say strangely, in a fogging mind, fogging, some people may not get what I'm saying there. In a dimming, let's try a dimming and see how that works. Y'all see, I know I utilize the thesaurus now. We growing up, we didn't have, we had one book and two books in the house. Two books. Now y'all know I'm embellishing a little bit, but we had two books. We had the Holy Bible. That book was in my mom's room. And we had the Encyclopedia P. That's it. So I know everything from begonia, pickles, Parisian Mountain Dog. It was a big blue book. And I said, when I get rich, I'm going to get me a Parisian Mountain Dog. Because we had the P. Parisian, I think it's called Parisian. Let me see. Siri, what is a Parisian Mountain Dog? Yep, that's it. Show me pictures of a Parisian Mountain Dog. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Show me pictures of a white Parisian Mountain Dog. Nope, I'm right. That's it. That's the dog. I said, when I get rich, I'm going to get me a Parisian Mountain Dog. Matter of fact. Yeah, that's it. So, I'm not joking either, y'all. I said I embellish, but the only books that stood out to me in our house was the Encyclopedia, the P. It was a blue P. I don't know where we got that book from, in the Holy Bible. But we studied with Jehovah's Witnesses, and the Jehovah's Witnesses, of course, they gave us books. They gave us the Bibles. They gave us, but it was a Kingdom Hall Bible. You know, so instead of the word God, it was Jehovah substituted for God. So we did have those books, and I thank God that we got to study with Matthew and Janet. Shout out to Matthew and Janet, man, if y'all listening. They wasn't that much older than myself. If I had to guess, maybe 10, 15 years older than me. So they should be alive and well, hopefully. Anyways, let's get back. Y'all know the ADHD is kicking in. Strangely, in a dimming mind, Jacob began hearing what sounded like a piano playing. There were only sharp notes. Those notes played in sync with each jump. Unbeknownst to him. Unbeknownst. I love that word. And I'm sure I'm going to have to tone it down a little bit with that. Okay. Unbeknownst to him, those notes played in sync with each jump of the invisible hymn. The invisible hymn. I'm going to go ahead and italicize that. It was the perfect melody fitted for a fairy. Soon the miniature Jacob, the one without an actual body, landed on the ground next to the actual Jacob, Jacob's feet, stirring a leaf. At last, and with the percussions joining the piano, the little pixie was on solid ground. Something above its head hovered like an orb or floated like a butterfly. But being there on the, okay, so I gotta, I gotta leave a comment because I'm just realizing I wrote that. I mean, I read it several times, but okay, I gotta ask myself a question. What is this orb? Okay, I put orb. What is this orb? Okay, we'll come back to it, I guess, maybe. Something above his head hovered like an orb or floated like a butterfly. But being there on the ground, it saw without seeing. Okay, wait a minute. Something above its head hovered like an orb or floated like a butterfly. But being there on the ground, it saw without, okay, I don't need to put but. At last, and with the percussions joining the piano, the little pixie was on the ground. Something above its head hovered like an orb or floated like a butterfly. Being there on the ground, I didn't intend to do that. Maybe y'all didn't detect that. Maybe y'all didn't realize that. But I was kind of thinking that in my head. It's like, where's this going? Where's this little section going? Something above its head hovered like an orb or floated like a butterfly. Sting like a what? That's a shout out to Muhammad Ali, by the way. That's a shout out to Muhammad Ali. Rest in peace. R.I.P. The GOAT, the greatest of all times. And I didn't do that on purpose. That just came through. When you write, sometimes writing is like picking up a channel. For all you older cats out there that used to use that dial on your radio in your dad's, 76 Malibu. And you had to Kiss 101, Kiss 101 FM. Go ahead and kiss yourself, by the way. Something above its head hovered like an orb or floated like a butterfly. Being there on the ground, it saw without seeing for the very first time the tiniest of insects, like ants, spiders, and mites. Oh my, there goes a jumping flea. Things it had never seen before, it saw now in vivid color and grand size. It didn't fear these things because they couldn't hurt it, but those insects were certainly curious. There came a granddaddy spider, a daddy longlegs. There came a daddy longlegs. Now, I got to go and do some research because we say daddy longlegs here in South Carolina, but do anybody else say daddy longlegs? I don't know. Let's check it out. Let's see. Let's go. Let's go up to old Google and see what Google says about this whole matter here. Daddy long. Yes. Daddy longlegs. Yeah. Yep. So, of course, to appeal to my future South Carolinian and Southern listeners, and whoever else, I don't know, maybe everybody calls. It's called a harvestman. That's the actual name, harvestman. Daddy longlegs spider. So this is the University of California. So if they call it a daddy longlegs, then hey, it's not just a Southern thing. But anyways, let's get back to it. There came a I wonder, daddy long legs. There came a daddy long legs. There came a daddy long legs, and with one long leg it reached out, and with one long leg there came a daddy long legs, and with one long leg, and with one long leg it reached out to the thing it knew was there but could not see. There came a daddy long legs, and with one long leg, and with one long leg, and with one long leg, it reached out to the thing it knew was there but could not see. Miniature Jacob flinched, but was unaffected, untouched by the arachnid. As it looked up, the sky seemed farther away. As it looked up, the sky, let's say he. Saying he separates the fairy thing from the daddy long leg at this point. And plus I want to start integrating the concept that it has a sex, and make it more human-like, As he looked up, the sky seemed farther away. The trees were enormous. There was a cardinal looking down at it. Then I come back to it, and that's fine. Is this really happening? The fairy spoke for the very first time. The fairy spoke. The fairy spoke. Yes, the answer was yes. He began to feel. Yes, the answer was yes. He began to feel the nauseousness that is accompanied with time-space traversing. It's similar to that feeling that comes after intently watching too many home videos in one setting. He only feels this way momentarily. He felt this way momentarily. Oh, I can sleep. He only felt this way. He only felt this way momentarily. He only felt this way momentarily before coming back to the present moment. It wasn't long before it attached itself to the boy. Now I'll go back to calling it. Man, do I enjoy spending quality time with my father, Jacob said to himself, but loud enough for Henry to hear. Tickled by his son's flattery, an embarrassed smile came over the man's face. With a glance upward toward the tree line. Wait a minute, tree line is 2 words? Okay. His appreciation of the moment was solidified by the sight of fading sun rays. We really must do this more often, Father. We really must do this more often, Father, Jacob added, flabbergasted and somewhat taken aback. Henry chose to surprise the unexpecting child by joining in. But of course, son. It would be of the highest pleasure, said Henry. Huh? Jacob stalled before coming back with, Father. Yes, son. Henry answered back with chuckles. Have you ever noticed the beauty that bestows one after entering the lush greenness of the forest? Alright, so consider the above comment. Should this go deeper? Okay. Allowing the uncanny words to register, suspicion came over the father. Suspicion came over Henry. And I'm using Henry now because we've used father so many times. It's redundant. Came over Henry. Allowing the uncanny words to register, suspicion came over Henry like thick clouds suddenly hiding a bright sun. Despite his intuition, and assuming his son would continue with the shenanigans, Henry decided to call it quits before the boy got to be too persistent. Henry decided to call it quits before Jacob became ridiculous, before the boy got to be too persistent, before Jacob got to be too persistent. Okay, Jake, now that's just too much, he smiled warily. You're going a little overboard with all the theater, Shakespearean talk. We're not even, he paused in deep thought. If you want a puppy, just act normal. Well, maybe not your normal. Just stop acting so. Just continue to do good in school and keep helping out around the house. Alright, so right now we're going green right here. This is, I think this is black because the chapter is almost over, right? Yeah. So, alright, so let's take it back to the top. This is now going to be black. Alright, and this is also going to be black. My colors are all mixed up. What in the heck? That must be a school bus. Alright. Well, maybe not your normal. Just stop acting. So, just continue to do good in school and keep helping out around the house. If you can do this for a few weeks without getting into any foolishness, you'll have a puppy. But do not for 1 minute think that a puppy can take care of itself. If you mistreat this puppy or neglect it, the dog will have to go to a new home. Understood? Yes, Father. I got it, Daddy. That's Jake, y'all. Jake the snake. Alright, so now this is going to be green. This is going to be our starting point next time. Alright, back at home, Mrs. Wallace, Sonia, and Lily were all in the garage getting things prepared for Suge's big night. So far, 5 people had shown up. People from the neighborhood who'd heard about the get-together and decided that free food was a lot better than having to cook for themselves. Colorful balloons and ribbons were strung up in various locations of the garage and along the front of the home. Staked in the front yard were the words, "Happy 80th birthday, Suge," in equally colorful, bold letters. At a modest volume, old school R&B was heard playing from the flashing Bluetooth speakers. Though the speakers were capable of blaring bass throughout the neighborhood, Edna decided not to blast them out of worry that some of the neighbors would complain. Despite the fact, tunes like "This Is How We Do It" by Montel Jordan and "It Takes Two" by Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock were priming the scene for good vibes to come. The aroma of the food, on the other hand, was permeating from a mile away. There was no way to turn down the smell, but if there were, Edna would have eagerly turned up the volume and perhaps used an industrial-sized fan to blow the smell in the direction of all those who thought they were too good to be a part of the afternoon festivities. It was Suge's birthday, and for those who knew the man and had any good sense, knew that being there that night would have been the perfect way to pay homage to the gardening legend. The party had been, let's see, another word for gardening. I want to make it more horticultural. The party had been the Wallace's way of paying tribute. It was the least they could do. There were so many people who knew the hero behind the humble face, turning Turning 80 years old was a very important milestone for Mr. John White. John White? Is his name John White? Wait a minute, come on. Excuse me. I gotta put a note here. Somebody's watching this thinking, you don't remember his name? No. I've changed it so many times. Changed his name several times already. Suge has remained the same for the past 20, going on 26 years. But that's his nickname. Turning 80 years old was a very important milestone for Mr. John White, aka Suge, and the people of Green Pond. On fold-out tables that stood against the garage wall were silver chafers with burners underneath, allowing steam to keep everything warm. The display of food looked nothing less than a feast fit for a king. There were dishes of all sorts, neatly placed in bowls and platters. Earlier in the day, and somehow while preparing the lovely spread, Edna. Okay, I gotta. The display of food looked nothing less than a feast fit for a king. There were dishes of all sorts neatly placed in bowls and platters. Placed in platters. On fold-out tables that stood against the garage wall were silver chafers with burners underneath, allowing steam to keep everything warm. The display of food looked The display of food looked nothing less than a feast fit for a king. There were dishes of all sorts, neatly placed. Placed in platters. Next to the garage door was Edna's lemonade. Was Edna's lemonade. Okay, I'm gonna just leave it there. Next to the garage door was Edna's lemonade. I wonder why I'm putting the lemonade in the scene now. Early in the day and somehow while preparing the lovely spread, Edna and Sonia had done an immaculate cleaning of the garage of the area. There wasn't a speck of dust or cobweb anywhere to be found. Out on display, certainly not for early consumption, according to Edna, were dishes of creamy macaroni, casserole. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, next to the garage door was a bowl. It was a bowl of Edna's lemonade. Next to the garage door, on its own table, on a table, on a separate fold-out table was a bowl of Edna's lemonade. Some of y'all know where I'm going with this. Early in the day, and somehow while preparing the lovely spread, Edna and Sonia had done an immaculate cleaning on the area. There wasn't a speck of dust or a cobweb anywhere to be found. Out on display, certainly not for early consumption, according to Edna, were dishes of creamy hidden underneath the covers of the platters. What did they call those things? The Schaefers, right? Schaefers of the silver Schaefers. Hidden underneath the covers.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep your operation running.
Alright, so YouTube is, anyways, commercials and whatnot. Okay. Hidden underneath the covers of the silver Schaefers, out of display, out of sight, out of sight, out of sight. Sight. Certainly not for other consumption. And dishes of creamy mackerel, casserole, barbecued ribs, fried chicken, collard greens, potato salad, dirty rice. Well, the potato salad wouldn't be there. Potato salad, you don't want to keep that hot. You want to keep that one. You want that to be nice and cool. So let's add. I know what we can add right here. Oxtail. Oxtail. Goodness gracious, boy! I just had a I just had a fruition there. What do you? Or dishes. I'll put the potato salad somewhere else. Or dishes of creamy macaroni, casserole. And y'all know why. I'm from South Carolina. We don't call it macaroni casserole. We call it macaroni. But people from the West Coast are gonna read this. People from, up north. People from Canada. Germany, China, Brazil, Africa, Jamaica. Shout out to all y'all too, man. Haiti, all of Africa. I'm talking South Africa, East Africa, West Africa, Sierra Leone, the Congo, Nairobi, I love Africa. I had never been there, but I love Africa. New York is gonna read this, all right? New Yorkers. Or was that New Jersey? I'm getting a little bit must be that drink that I'm sipping on. I'm Jacob sipping on a drink right now. Alright, so oxtail, dirty rice, yellow rice, corn on the cob, deviled eggs. Deviled eggs can't be there either. Not underneath the shavers. Smell the turkey wings. I guess deviled eggs. No, you don't want deviled eggs in there. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this because I'm getting a little tired, people. Potato salad. We're gonna put this here, and we're gonna do this because we know it's out of place right now, but that's okay. That's okay. Make that purple. Alright. Fried chicken, collard greens, oxtail, dirty rice, yellow rice, corn on the cob, smothered turkey wings, cornbread, apple pie. Alright. You don't want apple pie in there, You don't want apple pie and lemon meringue pie on there underneath the. I may be going a little bit too far with this, but. Oh boy. We want cornbread to be nice and steaming. With as many as 50 people expected to show, some bringing more food, there would be several plates to take back home after the festivities. Though the sun was now setting on the horizon outside the garage, away from the music, the sound of ruffling oak leaves could be heard as a cool October breeze was coming in. "Sonia, bring back some cornmeal. I believe I see your brother and Daddy walking up with the fish. I don't know why I had to echo that. Some ways down the freshly scraped dirt road, Edna saw her husband and son carrying the fishing rods and buckets. Watching her boy struggle with the heavy bucket, she shook her head with concern. "Okay. You want to rest again?" asked Henry, knowing good and well the boy wouldn't dare stop to take a breath this close to home. "Go ahead, stop," a voice came from within. Nobody's looking, just put it down for a few seconds. Stop. Okay. I am going to stop y'all. Y'all can hear me. I need another cup of coffee or something, because, ooh. Man, this is not the right red. Where's the right red? There, that's it, I think. Alright, we're gonna stop right here. We'll pick it back up in the green, y'all. Right here. Did I name that last chapter? Let's see how many pages that last chapter was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I see some green here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. More green. Come on, man. You gotta do better, man. 14, 15. That was a long chapter. Wow. 15 pages. It was a long chapter. All right. Mischief. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 pages, y'all. Goodness gracious. That's okay. That's okay. I'm reloading. I'm gonna go ahead and save this. Bam. And until next time, y'all. Thank y'all for stopping by. Hit that like, leave a comment. Till next time. Be safe. I'm out.